Good morning. It's Saturday, July 6, 2024. I'm standing in front of a Clementine by Yuzu hybrid at my rental house, a mini farm here in Greene County, Georgia. And I'm going to walk through my last application of granular fertilizer this year. This will be the last time I apply a granular fertilizer. I may apply some liquid fertilizer, but it just depends on conditions. So my general rule of thumb is to apply 3 times a year granular fertilizer, and how I remember it is to apply at St. Patrick's Day, Mother's Day, and the 4th of July. So early spring, late spring, and then early summer, midsummer, however you want to put it. I don't apply after that because in my climate, being colder, I don't want too much late growth. And 2 things that we face here in this part of Georgia are kind of the opposite. One is we will have very dry periods in late summer, or we will have very wet periods, sometimes both. It often gets very dry in August and September, continuing into October. And then, of course, at the same time, there's always the threat of a tropical system, or maybe a promise of a tropical system. But it can be a 2-edged sword because if it rains a lot really late, you'll get a late flush of growth almost into early fall, and then it doesn't harden off properly before cold weather comes. So the idea is to keep citrus healthy and thriving, but then get them to a point where they're kind of quiet before the cold weather sets in fall and certainly in winter. So I'm going to show you right now what I do. And this is, of course, this is not all at one time. This is what I do throughout the year. The first thing I do in this early spring is I apply citrus spikes. Now, this is just an example. I'm not promoting any particular product, but I do use a different brand. It's called Job spikes, and they're called maintenance spikes. The soil here is kind of a sandy loam. It's not red clay. So I think a lot of times fertilizer just tends to flow down rather than laterally. But I've found, based on the recommendation of a good friend of mine, that if you use these spikes over time, they do make a long-term difference. But typically in the spring, I will also top dress with just some quick acting 10-10-10. And that's actually what I'll be applying today as the last one. I don't want it to last, so I just want to get it on a quick shot on there. We had about 2 inches of rain last night, thank goodness, and more on the way today. At least that's what the weatherman is promising. So I will apply about 1 pound per foot. So I use this little scoop here. It holds about 1 pound, and I'll just apply it, sprinkle it around the drip line. So a small citrus like this one that I planted recently, this is a Yuzu quat. I'll put down just maybe 1 pound of fertilizer around it and call it good, and it probably will be good. A larger one like the Yuzu hybrid in the back, I might put 2 or 3 pounds around it, and then the largest ones of all, I might put up to 4 or 5 pounds. Just depends on how it's looking and how dry it might be at that time. Now, throughout the growing season, I will also use as a liquid fertilizer this product, Foliage Pro Super Thrive. And I believe it's designed to be kind of a spray-on foliar, but I don't use it that way. What I do is mix it, you can see the analysis there. What I do is I mix it 1 teaspoon per gallon, or about 1 cup for 30 gallons, because I'll often mix it in a large garbage can and just apply it liberally with water. And I do that during the growing season up to maybe the middle of July, almost about every other week, just when I'm watering. And that seems to do a great job. It keeps everything looking really healthy, and it does a good job of preventing a lot of pests and diseases. You can see here that the Clem Yuzu hybrid that we're talking about has got a nice flush of growth going right now, in spite of all the heat and very dry weather that we've been having. And it's because I've been watering it well and keeping it nice and healthy. So this is probably the last flush of growth that I want to see on this tree this season. And then after this, let everything harden off, get quiet, get ready for the colder weather. And if it's got fruit, get ready to enjoy that. Unfortunately, this one has bloomed in the past. It didn't this year, but we will hope for next year, and I've got plenty others that are. So that's what I do. Your experiences and needs may differ. If you have heavy red clay or sandy soil, you may need to do something different. If you live in a state like Florida that puts fertilizer restrictions during the summer, you may not be able to fertilize at all. I live in an area where we don't have those, so I can do it whenever I need to or want to. But that's the regimen that I follow, and if it works for you, great. I wish you success with your plants, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.